Lord Xerus! Lord Xerus!
That meddling Inspector Gadget will never see this coming. Oh, sorry guys, I didn't see you there. This is Lord Xerus. Welcome to my workshop. I was just, don't pay attention to that other stuff I was saying. What we're doing today is, here's my new helmet. You saw me unbox this the other day. But, I need to make some changes to it to make it SCA legal. I need to add half an inch of EVA padding that I bought from Windrose Armory. The padding is required to help prevent concussions, okay? That's a SCA rule. You gotta have that padding in order to compete. So, my helmet is super awesome. It's nice and heavy. I know it's gonna protect me. I'm not worried about that at all. Alright, now we look inside there, we've got a historical suspension liner. Now, I feel really bad because when I asked my armors to make this helmet, I asked them to put that in there, and now I'm gonna take it out. So I feel really bad about that. It was explained to me that sometimes when you're fighting, that the cord inside can fail, and the helmet will possibly hit you on the top of the head, or your chin strap will be loose all of a sudden, and all of a sudden you've got a potential for a head injury. So I'm gonna be replacing all that with a half an inch of foam so that there isn't any space for the helmet to make my head slap around in there. Equip work gloves. All right, now we can get started. Not totally sure about this. Really hate breaking my own stuff. Sorry, guys. That's surprisingly easy. I don't want to ruin this nice liner. See if I can use it for something. I've learned that that's kind of key when you have this kind of hobby. You want to hold on to everything. So I've got most of this leather pulled up. So now it's going to be a matter of liberating the leather from those rivets in there. So one approach I might take is I might just cut a slit in the leather just so I can slip it off that rivet and cut the rivet out. Another thing I might do if that doesn't work is I might have to actually just grind out the rivet with an angle grinder. Which is fun, but I don't really want to do it because I don't really want to damage the finish on this helmet. This is my brand new helmet, so, I don't want to already be ruining it by doing this drastic stuff. Alright, so I guess in trying to preserve this leather, I kind of ended up destroying some of it anyway. I did manage to gain purchase on this rivet here with nothing more than a pair of rivet cutters and a pair of pliers. And then now I'm working on it with this hacksaw. Well, it's a very tenacious rivet, I'll give it that. There we go. So I've had some time to think about it, and every time I try to avoid grinding out rivets, I always inevitably end up doing it anyway. I don't know why I do it to myself. I think, somehow I can not use this angle grinder and do it a little bit faster, or maybe a little bit less complicated. The truth is, I'm probably just gonna have to grind out these rivets. Okay, I actually thought there were 4 rivets. Turns out there's only 3 of them. So there's one here on the temple. There's another one back here. The last rivet's right there on the other side on the temple again. Initially I thought this was one of the rivets holding in place. This is actually holding the chin strap. So we're gonna leave that one alone for the time being. So we're gonna have to go outside for a second and play with this guy. Yeah. Oh man, that's not good. Well, sometimes you gotta knock them through with a hammer or something. One of them came out. That's good. Oh man. Alright, so bad news, guys. I tried to grind in these rivets, and I even went inside past the surface of the helmet, so that I'm getting some little indentations there. And it looks like these rivets are actually expanded towards the outside, so I don't know if grinding them down anymore is going to do any good. So I think I'm going to have to come at them from the other side. Didn't want to do it. Looks like we're going to have to cut it away anyway. I'm sure you're asking yourself, well, Lord Xerus, why don't you bring the angle grinder inside the helmet and grind it out from this side? And the answer to that is, well, the angle grinder will set the leather on fire. The second you want something to happen, is the moment it becomes freaking impossible. I don't know why it always comes down to this every time I've ever wanted to remove a rivet. It's always just nonsense work. Ground it down to the surface on the other side. It should come out. There's no reason for it not to. Other than just the universe just being a piece of shit. Universe is a bully. Universe is a friggin' bully. Can't even get a good view at it because this camera won't even point where I want it to. Stupid lamp. See, now everything's in my way. I can't even look at it myself. Why does this keep falling out? Universe is just being a piece of shit. Doesn't have anything better to do, apparently, than hassle me. Okay, great. Well, we got the leather out. Had to destroy it, but it's out now at least. After working at this for like 20 minutes, I was finally able to remove that washer and all of this scrap leather that was just wrapped right around there. So now I've just finally exposed the rivet where it is. See if I can finally now just pull it out. Oh, God. Alright. I've never met a rivet that didn't fight for its life. Success. We did it. Good job, everybody. It looks like it was countersunk in there, so grinding it more and more would not have accomplished anything. So it's a good thing I stopped when I did. I wish I'd known that ahead of time. See if the other one will come out. That one's kind of a challenge. The ball peen hammer seems to be the best bet here. Now, we can get something in there and pry it up. There we go. Infuriatingly small things. Finally. Alright guys, as you can see, I pulled out the suspension liner. Here it is. Oh, hey, you can make yourself a little jughead crown. I was actually hoping to use this piece of leather, possibly to make the aventail with, to actually attach the mail to my helmet. But I don't think, after cutting this open, I don't think that's going to happen. And you know what else? I'm not really sure I like the color anyhow, so I'm just going to go ahead and move on with this. Some of you might have seen online these helmet squids that they make. I personally didn't buy one because I thought the markup was kind of big. It was like $38, $40, you know, when a sheet of this EVA material with the peel-off adhesion only costs about $11. So I decided to get a couple of sheets of this and basically make my own helmet squid. I'm choosing this helmet squid design because I feel like it's a good way to keep the helmet nice and ventilated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out 5 of these strips using nothing more than this pair of shears. I'm just going to take this for reference. 3 and 5 should be enough. Before I actually start affixing these in there, is that I am going to touch up the paint job in here. Painting your armor is important for keeping rust at bay. I have had armor shipped to me. When it arrived, it was covered with rust. So just because it's stainless steel, particularly 410 stainless, because it's a carbon stainless, not quite the stainless that you're used to, you do have to take measures to avoid rust. So I'm going to touch up. I'm just going to give it a quick paint job. This brush is just losing hairs left and right. Well, I think you get the idea. I'll turn you off now. Alright guys, it's been a couple of days. So now what I'm going to do, now that the paint is dry, is I'm going to insert this oval cut piece of foam. So I'm just going to peel the backing, and I'm just going to insert it up in the middle of the helmet. Let's do this. It's kind of tough. Careful. Don't stick it to your own hands, Xerus. Alright. Remember that your helmet is creased on top, or at least mine is. You want to fold it a little bit so that glue can settle in up to the higher parts of the helmet. The reason I wanted to do that first was because now I'm going to take my other foam strips and I'm going to measure them out. I think the 2 widest ones I want for the front, for the cheeks, and then the 3 narrow ones I want for back of the head and behind the ears. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and make a pencil mark here, and I'll label this right front. right middle. And then this is the rear center. Got a little natural marker right there. Alright, so now I'm just going to cut these to length and then I'm going to fix them in the helmet. You know, I realize that these gauntlets are kind of inhibiting my dexterity modifier. Equip work gloves. Boom. Alright, then go inside the line about, I don't know, about a quarter of an inch. Alright. Now, these little short ends I'm going to keep because they're going to be useful because I'm going to use them up, put them up here in the brow. Cut down the corners a little bit. Putting equipment on and taking it off, you don't want it catching on anything, especially not your face. Back center one should be pretty simple to place. Oops. That is if the helmet cooperates with us, which it might not. Ow, glove. Why'd you do that, glove? If you don't get it right in the first time, don't panic, just kind of pull it up a little. This adhesive backing is a little forgiving. Probably don't want to abuse it too much. Make sure you want to get it to adhere to the curve of the helmet. That's kind of the hardest part here, especially since the helmet's kind of flopping around. Looks like I don't want to mess around with it too much because it looks like I'm peeling up some of the paint. Alright, that was a struggle. I'm finding the best way to put these in is to pinch it up at the top, kind of fold it so it sticks to the very top of the helmet, and then press it against the curve of the helmet as you go down. Because if you don't do that, what's going to happen is you're going to adhere to this side of the helmet, and then you're going to get to the middle where you're going to press it in, and then you're going to have a gap up here. On to the next one. Not my best work. You want to keep in mind, you want to keep enough space for your ear. Come on, you. Don't be so stubborn. Alright, feels pretty good so far. Alright, now what you want to do, take your little scraps and get them, you know, up in here on the brow. Yeah, oh, that one's almost perfect. It's actually practically perfect. All I want to do is I want to cut a little divot in it so it'll fit the roundness of that top part. There you go. So this one fits relatively perfectly. I might even want to trim it down a little. Same thing for this one, more or less. Let's trim this for width first. Cut a little divot in there. There we go. There we go. Hey, yeah. Looking at it, it might not fit, actually. Should have put them both in there at the same time. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Oh, we gotta make it a little shorter though. A little shorter than we anticipated. Got it in the wrong place. It's a little sloppy. Should be okay though. We got a nice big melon though, so should catch all of that. You see here now that I've padded the inside of the helmet, you might be able to see that I've done a single layer of foam here, and then up here, higher up on the brow, I've done a double layer of foam. So I went ahead and doubled up there, and also in the center. Just because, you know, the top of the head's a very sensitive area. Majority of the weight is resting there. And I did it on the brow in order to kind of keep this visor away from my face and to keep my eyes level out of the eye hole. And now it works pretty well. Now, I found myself having to address these chin straps. So, I did some experimentation. Armors at a Classic Handicraft gave me 2 sets of chin straps. One kind of a standard set, which I'm probably guessing they placed first. And it's just a single strap, which connects to a single buckle on the other side. And then they also gave me another option, this double strap right here. Because they were trying to approximate this other chin strap that I showed them. The problem with this is that these buckles, which are nice buckles by the way, they didn't skimp, they're nice decorative brass buckles. But the only problem with these is that they're not really comfortable when you put them against your skin. They gave me this padded coif, and those straps were designed to work with this padded coif, which they did pretty well. Alright, but now because I've padded the helmet, now there's not enough room for my head with the coif on it. So that's another issue that I'm going to have to tackle. What I was thinking about doing is taking a chainmail from this coif and turning it into an aventail, which is quite a whole other project. You might see me doing that later on. But for right now, because, you know, we've got Potrero War coming up, so I gotta get this helmet ready for me to use. I did some experimentation, and I found that actually this higher chin strap works a little better than this lower chin strap. It doesn't work without this extra piece here, which I made. This is a piece of a Windrose Armory chin strap kit. The chin piece, which I've always kept, which is always very comfortable. I used this in my last helmet, along with some paracord. So what I've done here, I've repurposed some scrap leather and attach it with some Chicago screws. The way I use it is that I thread the straps through these hoops here, and then, as you see, I've attached these pieces of foam to the front just as a layer of comfort there. and then you just do the buckle. And this is adjustable, and that's the reason I didn't attach it to the actual chin strap. And I can pull this tight as tight as I need to, and this is relatively comfortable. So what I think I'm going to do is now I'm going to get rid of these other straps, and what that entails is that I'm going to have to grind out the rivets on the inside here. There we go. I almost punched myself in the face. Grab the other one here. There we go. Nice. See that rivet? You could still use it for something else. Alright, I just wanted to mention real quick that with some of these buckles, some of the tongues are a little bit too long. So, you know, when you're trying to put these things on, it gets a little bit cumbersome because you'll have to pull the strap way further than you really should have to in order to get it onto that little tongue there. Well, so what I did is I kind of came in here with this wire cutter and just kind of nipped the end off of the little tongue there. Keep it so that it's extended past the buckle, because if you don't, then now you've made it useless. So you have to be really careful about that. So that's just a friendly little tip there. Alright, looks like we've done everything we can to get this puppy ready for war. So all that's left to do is to try it on. Alright, looks pretty good. I'm digging it. Yeah! Alright, now let's give it a test, shall we? Oh, God. Okay, that stung a little. Well, there you have it, guys. A fully padded helmet ready for SCA combat. I hope you'll like this video and you'll comment on the comments below with your questions. Another big thank you to my friends at A Classic Handicraft. Don't forget our motto: Noggin-A-Do-it. Don't be afraid to suck. I'll see you on the battlefield. Take it away, Dr. Claw. I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to read The Tale of the Order of the Blue Maiden. It's a book about talking squirrels or something. Available now on Amazon, iTunes, Barnes & Nobles, and Kobo. Or go to thetale.com. You've never heard a tale like this. Alright, is that enough? I'm doing a lot of sucking right now. Do you know how many takes it took me to do this? I'm actually all by myself here. I almost dislocated my arm putting this armor on. Do you think that you could come over and help me take it off now that I'm done? Please? Anyone? Alright.